Hey folks, today is Friday, April 19th, 2024. As usual, my name is Jake Baldino, here to talk about all the video game news that has been going on this week. A little change of scenery, I'm at home, the office ceiling is flooding, so that's why I'm here. Talking about the game news, a lot of stuff, so let's just jump right in. The first thing is a follow-up from last week, but we now have the announcement of the sequel of an open world RPG that is really beloved. It's Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. We talked about the tease last week that the developers Warhorse were announcing something, and it was pretty obvious it was Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, but now we got a big and, to be honest, pretty kick-ass trailer that shows that it's continuing Henry's story. Storytelling-wise, visually, there's just a lot more going on here and just a lot more variety in terms of types of characters and just like things they're covering in this world. Little glimpses, little snippets of gameplay, but not too much to go on yet. And I'm very curious to see how this is going to go down because the first game had a really big fan base, a beloved fan base. It took a minute for the game to gain traction, especially because I played it at launch and didn't love it because of some technical issues and stuff, but it's really found a solid audience. So now people are pumped for the second one. And after that trailer and like Henry's a badass now, I'm definitely interested. The world looks bigger, the combat looks crazier, and I'm just looking forward to seeing more. But the biggest bit of news is that it's coming in 2024. That's what the trailer said. We don't know when in 2024, but that's just something I didn't expect. So to be getting our hands on it that soon is pretty cool. Just another thing to look forward to, I guess. Oh boy, now the other thing this week, the big conversation is around Fallout lore, specifically with the events of the TV show and how that connects to the games, because apparently it is all canon, but people were concerned that like with seemingly the way the timeline worked out, Fallout might be like rejecting New Vegas in this lore, but it seems like that's not the case. There was a ton of internet conversation, and then Todd Howard and Jonathan Nolan, the show creator, came out and explained that the Shady Shan's bombs fall just after the events of New Vegas. So apparently it's all in there. It's all accounted for. I don't know if that's what, like, if people are satisfied now. I haven't really been able to get a gauge on the reaction, but I just never was really invested in this anyway. I finished the show. I really enjoyed the show. I'd give it like an 8 out of 10, something like that. I really like it, and I think I'm excited to see where they can go from there. But in terms of like the lore and stuff, I always just like look at a show as its own thing. You know, I get that they say it's connected, but whatever. I thought an interesting take was actually from Tim Kaine, the creator of the original Fallout games, like Fallout 1. He makes YouTube videos, and he talked about his thoughts on the show and how the Fallout series has a history of unreliable narrators and liars. And he's saying that not like as an excuse for like a writing mistake or something, but like actually just like it could be an interesting angle down the line. I'll link his video. It's really good. And of course, with everything I talk about, all the news I talk about, all of it's going to be linked in the description down below. But speaking of Bethesda type stuff, Todd Howard did also go on record saying not to expect a new Fallout game anytime soon. He doesn't want to commit to any dates because he's made that mistake in the past. And as of right now, their work continues on the next Elder Scrolls game. That's where development is focused. But also with updates for Fallout 76, which is popping off due to the popularity of the show, as well as Starfield updates. He did say that they're doing a lot of Starfield work, and something is going to be announced soon. Is that like a bigger look at the Starfield DLC Shattered Space? I don't know what it's going to be, but people who were waiting with bated breath for new Starfield stuff, here you go. Maybe we're getting something soon. And in an update from the PS5 Pro spec leak stuff we talked about a couple of weeks back, The Verge is reporting once again that, and their quote is, Sony's PS5 Pro is real and developers are getting ready for it. Now, all of this, of course, is like unnamed sources and stuff, so take it with a grain of salt, but the reports are suggesting that Sony is pushing developers to work on optimized versions for this new PS5 Pro over the summer, with the GPU for the PS5 Pro reportedly being like 45% faster. According to some of this stuff, the idea is apparently to push games with kind of like a marketing angle for the PS5 Pro with like a special graphics mode that only the PS5 Pro can take advantage of, with a lot of it being focused around resolution, but most importantly, ray tracing. And on the resolution side, there's supposed to be focus on like Sony's own tech version of like NVIDIA's DLSS or AMD's FSR, like something like that. I think the question I really want to ask is like, for Sony fans, where are you sitting at with this? Because for me, just looking at everything, and even as a consumer, I feel like there's less excitement around the idea of a PS5 Pro as there was for the PS4 Pro. PS4 Pro was like, all right, cool. PS5 Pro, I don't know, there's just a different feeling in the air about it. Do we need it? I would argue yes, because on the one hand, like we're already starting to get next gen games that are like 30 frames per second, but then you have other stuff, like you have some first party Sony games, like it still feels like they're only just getting started taking advantage of the PS5 tech in the first place. So I don't know, I'm a little wishy-washy on it, but let me know what you guys think. Also, speaking of PlayStation games, in case you missed it, Kena Bridge of Spirits has been announced to be coming to Xbox. That's pretty cool. I really liked Kena Bridge of Spirits. That was PS5 and PC a few years back. So yeah, everybody's trading stuff. We're getting Sea of Thieves on PS5 soon. Things are going back and forth. It's crazy. Jumping over here real quick to talk about the sponsor of today's video, Incog. Now, here's the deal. There are thousands of companies and aggregates out there collecting, storing, and trading around your personal data without you even knowing about it. We talk about online security a lot around here, and there are data brokers out there that just have access and are holding onto like your name, your phone number, your email address, your age, your gender, a bunch of stuff. You know, chances are you've read headlines about data breaches. Maybe you're signed up to a website that then got hacked and your information is out there. Me personally, I've signed up for newsletters only to realize now I'm getting a bunch of junk mail, meaning my email is just more out there. I don't want that stuff. You don't want that stuff. And you do have the right to go out to these data brokers and request removal. But the problem is that there's just so many of them out there. Thankfully, that's where Incog can help out. With Incog, all you do is create an account and then say whose personal data you want to be requested to be removed. Then after those 2 easy steps, you sit back and watch Incog go to work. There's a really nice, intuitive, easy to read dashboard that shows you the progress of all this. Like, I look forward to the updates. It's cool to see it actually doing something. So if you want to check it out, all you got to do is click the link in the description down below or head to incogni.com/gameranx and then use code gameranx for 60% off an annual Incogni plan. Once again, use code gameranx at incogni.com/gameranx for an exclusive 60% off an annual Incogni plan. And big thanks to Incog for sponsoring this video. Next up, just some cool stuff you should check out. I linked a trailer for No Rest for the Wicked, which just dropped in early access. I'm currently playing it as we speak. Still a little early for me to judge, but I'll get out of Before You Buy soon, just breaking down some of the systems and the details, but it's gorgeous, and it is very Diablo-y, but you die really quickly. I'm looking forward to playing more, though, because it was one of my most anticipated. So, but speaking of some of my most anticipated, got a new Frostpunk 2 video. This is a gameplay deep dive that shows a bit more about the game and like what you're going to be doing in it. And what I like is the developers kind of broke down that like the first game was all about surviving in the cold, right? It's like the end of the world, the earth is freezing over. That's the main challenge of the game, right? Now with the second one, it's like that's kind of figured out. So now it's all about societal stuff. And that to me sounds really spicy, and I'm still really excited for this game. Also, I forgot to mention it last week. I'm not always that good at this job, but a trailer for Children of the Sun, because that dropped. It's a really, really cool game. We talked about it on my podcast. Also, shout out to Skill Up, Austin over at Skill Up, who did a review for it. It's a pretty cool game. If you're looking for something different, if you think every video game is the same these days, here is one of those games I will shove in your face and say, this is something different, man. Also, just wanted to share something cool. This is a fan remake of Rayman 3. This is in Unreal Engine, and it's gorgeous. I love showing these. We used to show more of these all the time when people were putting like Zelda or Mario in Unreal. Now we got Rayman 3, and it's pretty sick. But a big thing this week, a big topic of conversation online, at least in like the people I'm following on the internet, is Hades 2. So Hades 2 has like a technical test going down, and you can sign up, and people have just been jumping into and playing Hades 2. And the response so far has been pretty awesome. Also, what I linked is just a big gameplay deep dive live stream with the developers of Supergiant. So when this technical test dropped, they just put out a big stream showing off the game, playing through it, and a couple of other people have made this point, but I like that it's not like just flashy marketing yet. It's just like they're confident in their game, and they're just like, here it is. Check it out. Check out what we're doing. That's confidence. But also, Supergiant, I think they've made enough games where like they can back up that move, you know? There's a lot to glean on. Not enough time in this video, but like new gods, like presentational tweaks, a lot more to do in the game, a new character, of course. And from what I can see already, some kick-ass music. Oh, and in case you missed it, if you were looking forward to this, Fallout London has been delayed. This is the Fallout 4 fan mod project that has been years in the making, and it's a pretty massive chunk of content. It is a Fallout game for the first time not set in America. It's in London. They've recreated a London. It takes place before Fallout 4. There's a little bit of an emphasis on more melee combat. The people making this, the fans, the developers, have been showcasing this for a while, and there's been anticipation, but they have announced that this is delayed because of the Fallout 4 next-gen update that is coming next week for the platform, the consoles, as well as an update for PC, because they're going to need to go back to the drawing board and change some things and fix some things after this update. So Fallout London, not quite yet, but I am very curious to see how it goes down. I really want to play this just because it sounds so nice and different. And I think fan-made game projects are always very cool, but I think Bethesda games in particular often push like the best out of people. We've gotten some of the coolest fan game creations based on Bethesda games. So yeah, there's talking a lot about Bethesda games this week. But anyway, let's move on. This week, Nintendo had an Indie Land showcase. I'll link that in the description down below. But there's some cool stuff there. There's a game about making stickers for people called Sticky Business. It's just something completely different. There's a cat game. There's also TMNT Splintered Fate. This looks absolutely awesome. As a Turtles fan, I think this is cool, and it's a perfect fit for Nintendo Switch. Also, we got some Steamworld Heist 2 gameplay, which also is looking very substantial. I will link this whole thing down in the description, like I said, but shout out to Nintendo, at least, for supporting indies. I like that they're consistent with this. They're doing this. They're getting indie games in front of people's eyeballs. That just makes me happy. Oh, and also, speaking of that, still no Hollowknight Silk Song. It's like almost like a given at this point. It's always obvious. No Silk Song at this, but it has been rated in Australia, like the the age rating type thing, leading people to think it's coming soon. My speculation is because it's going to be a Game Pass game day one, and there was like some marketing with that. I expect this to be announced maybe around Summer Game Fest and be like an Xbox showcase thing. I don't know for sure. That's just my speculation. But if you knew there was a Nintendo thing going down, and like everybody, you always expect something from Silksong, once again, no. But hopefully soon. We got to leave off on a positive note, I guess. But that's it this week. We are back to the drawing board working on stuff. Fallout 76 update video, as well as I am working on a No Rest for the Wicked Before You Buy, and also Stellar Blade next week. That game with the girl with the butt. Kidding aside, there's a lot more to that game, so check back next week. But let's talk about all the stuff going on this week. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. What are your expectations, especially if you were a hardcore fan of the first game? Also, Fallout show versus game lore. Were you in the trenches arguing, battling that out, doing the Pepe Sylvia, trying to tie everything together? Do you care? Or are you just along for the ride? Maybe you hate the Fallout show. I don't know. Let's talk about that down in the comments, as well as the PS5 Pro stuff and something that caught your eye during the Nintendo Indie Land showcase. I think that's a good way to just highlight a game, maybe something you liked, maybe someone else in the comments can see that and catch that. But that's really it. So like we always do, there's going to be a pinned comment below this video asking what you're playing. Let us know. For our research, it does help us out, but thank you for being here. We're here every Friday getting you caught up real quick, so clicking the like button does help us. Thank you, but that's it. I'm Jake Baldino. All I ask is that you have a good weekend, be safe. Pizza's on me.